This is my Hekate shrine, and these are the two candles that were burning. Still, flickering like crazy. Still, oh my God. Hail Hecate. Merry meet to you all, and welcome to the video. Hello everyone. Namaste. Hail Hecate. Merry meet for all of you. This is Azurite 22. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel again. I appreciate it. Welcome to 2020. Still have my tree up. It'll come down at some point. I will not leave it up until April like I did a couple of years ago. I wanted to just give you guys an update about Hecate and I. I am now 3 months in after being called by Hecate. Just want to make sure my hair is not sticking straight up because it does that. And I don't know. It's like there's so much to say and I don't know where to start. And part of it is I thought Hecate with the spiritual pantheon I am working with, which is Santeria, Lukami, the Orisha tradition, brought over from Africa, came through Cuba, Brazil, various parts of the world. That is the tradition that I was actually crowned in, initiated into. So very, very different from Hecate, which is a Greek goddess. And by some stories, some mythologies, she is a Titan. And she is the only Titan that survived the whole Olympic gods situation. And Zeus was so taken with her that he gave her free reign, and she has many, many gifts and skills, Hecate. She's considered the queen of the witches. Enodia, Sotiera, world soul. There are so many epithets that Hecate has because through antiquity she has been different beings, different energies for different people at different times. And at this point, because we have all of history to look through, we actually get to choose the Hecate that is most comfortable for us personally. And for me, I like very much, I resonate well with Sotiera, world soul, because one of the first things Hecate told me was she's a movement within my soul. And that was something that touched me at such a deep level. And it felt so right that I just went with it. And it's a personal connection that sometimes there are no words for. And I wanted to just let you know that I'm okay. I kind of disappeared for a little while because I had to balance or rebalance myself with the new energy that was in my life, as well as to come to terms with how Hecate will work with my current spiritual family. And she actually brought me closer to my spiritual family, my Orisha family. And how is that possible, you say? Simply because there were things that I learned, picked up, heard about, and assumed, oh yeah, that's the way it should be. These things were taught to me. These things were told to me. However, you can learn from other ways. Just because the people around me do it this way doesn't mean it can't be done this way, this way, this way, that way. There are so many ways to do one thing. And depending upon your background and where your spirits are from, you're going to do things in a way that looks different, but you're going to get to the same spot. And Hekate helped me with that, because when Hekate came into my life, everything was like put on hold, because it was like, what is this? What's going on? How do I handle this, you know? And I stopped and I did what I normally do in my regular life, my real world life, where I go out to work and, you know, I see a problem and I figure out the problem and I, you know, go and do the research. I did the work. And I studied various mythologies and histories. I read different tracks, different books, and I got to an understanding of Hekate. And then I said, now that I understand what is out there, let me go inside and sit with Hekate and understand her internally and see what, if anything, that I've learned, that I've researched, that I've read resonates with me and what she tells me. And that is how I came to have a better understanding. And what I learned through reading was that they were not oil and water. Some spirits and deities or goddesses are, but in my case, Yamaha and Hekate, they work beautifully together, so beautifully together. It's almost as if Hekate is the strong, stern, world savvy energy, and Yamaha is also a strong mother, but for me, Yamaha comes a little bit softer, a little bit more nurturing. Hekate is the older, sterner mother who has been there and understands that you need to sometimes have some tough love in order to get the lesson. Sometimes it can't be sugar-coated. Sometimes it's got to be straight, no chaser. And for me, Yamaha is always giving me a little leeway, a little bit, you know, let me show you this way, let me show you that way. So with these two mothering type of energies working with one another, I was able to see a middle ground that I did not see before, another way. And it's been amazing. I've been developing and growing my relationship more and more with my Orisha at a deeper level. I was at one point and now I'm at another. And it wouldn't have happened without that calling from Hekate. And I just wanted to let you know that I am so happy. I am so thrilled. I'm just, there are no words. There are no words. And I know there's a lot of information out there about Hekate being, you know, very strict and, you know, she's not for everybody and, you know, she's going to do a lot of stuff. And yes, I can definitely see where that is the case. And maybe I haven't grown my relationship to the point where I see some of what others are talking about, but as I mentioned in my first video, she didn't make me sick when I did eat the food that I gave to her. I'm not supposed to eat it. I was supposed to give her her own food. Yes, she made me sick within the first, week that I had met her. So yeah, I get it. But that taught me a healthy respect for making sure I followed and I listened to the things that people said were touch points for Hekate. She's a stern mother. So when you have a stern mother, do you go up there and you test her? No, you don't. I mean, you could, but I already did it and I did it unwittingly. So that helped me. And when I celebrated or honored her with Deep Nan this past month, I made sure she had her own bottle of wine. Hail Hekate, lovely red wine I gave her. I'm gonna have a little sip myself. made sure she had a beautiful offering, some honey, some raw eggs. The raw eggs represent life force. I made sure that there was bread. She loves bread. I actually got cinnamon buns. She loves those things. And fish. I made sure she had some fish. Sprats are something that she enjoys. And what's hilarious, I had never seen sprats before in my entire life. And then I happened to be in a neighborhood, a Russian neighborhood, and saw a whole jar full, like jars on the shelves. And I'm like, oh my God, I was looking for this. Picked it up. Do you know I found it in my own neighborhood? Literally like last week. I'm like, this was not here, you know? I was in shock. But when you're ready for a thing, it appears. When you need a thing, it appears. And this is something that I am learning with Hekate. And I guess if you are interested in finding out more in developing your own relationship with Hekate, your best bet is to seek her signs, to ask her, to really, ask, Hekate, if you are calling me, if you accept me, if you would like me to come into closer union with you, show me your signs within the next 3 days. That is something that I learned from Hecterios, also a devotee of Hekate, and I'm telling you, that worked beautifully. And the signs were just there. I mean, I'm gonna put some little clips of the signs that I received from Hekate so you can just see the odd ways that it came about for me. But I kept getting them one after the other, in different, online, in person. It was just everywhere. And then I went, okay, you're supposed to get 3. I got over like 9 signs. It was crazy. And at that point I went, okay, so I don't think I'm making this up. That is a way for you to know if Hekate is truly calling you, because it is true. She does have a way of communicating, and if she is communicating, you will know. She is very persistent. And about a month and a half in, I was just like, you know what, I'm overwhelmed. It's too much, because I had started a course to learn more about Hekate, and this course is going to be 13 months long, because I'm basically initiating into the Hekatean way of functioning, the Hekatean path. And it just got very intense very quick. And I just pulled back. So for about 2 or 3 days, I did nothing with Hekate, nothing. And I went about my merry little way, dealing with my orishas, my spirits, as normal, as if Hekate wasn't there. Meanwhile, I'm thinking I'm just stepping back for a minute. Why do I see black dogs everywhere? At work, by my house, crossing the streets, in places that I don't normally go. So it's not like I've seen these dogs before. And I'm just going, what the heck? And then there was one specific thing. I was meditating, and I woke up with this thought, and it was like, I don't know, that thought wasn't familiar to me. It was a stretch for me. And I'm like, oh, I should really go and, talk to my spirits about this and get more clarity on it, because just because I came out of meditation with it, I am of the mind that I like to check, I like to verify, because I want to make sure that I hear it. My South Node is in Virgo. Need I say more? So I'm going on with all of this stuff in my mind, right? Black dog passes right in front of me with all of this. And I'm going, okay. That was Hekate telling me that thing that's a stretch for me, the thing that came in my meditation, that is actually correct. That is actually right. And it surprised me, because while I'm going through nice and calm, and I went, that's how Hekate works. So she's like, you know what? Enough with the yin yang. Here, let me see if you'll see this. And this is my point. When I thought I had stepped away, she had not stepped away from me. She was allowing me my human process, my angst, or whatever that was, because we're human. We have to process things in our own way. And she's a goddess who has been around for thousands of years. She's seen it all. So she was probably just like, this child, I can't, and made sure I saw. So I say all of that to say to you, sometimes when things are really perturbing you, the best thing to do is just to sit back and to continue meditating, to get quiet, stare at a flame, quiet your mind in whatever way you need to quiet it, so that you're able to take in what you need to take in, even if it is, I don't know, a white snake that crosses your path in some way, shape, or form, an owl that hoots even though you're in the middle of the city. I mean, whatever it is that's unusual enough to catch your attention, but is a significator of that spirit you're working with, that is how you will tune in. But you've got to release just a little bit. And while I was in my mind, I wasn't far gone. It was such a new idea for me that it boggled my mind for a bit. Anyway, that is the update. I would love to know more about your experiences with Hekate. If you have worked with her, if you've called on her, and what have your experiences been? I would love to learn, because as you see, this is a very new path for me, and it's exciting, but I love to learn. I want to know more. So please share your Hekate stories with me, your experiences, and how you find working with her. I would so appreciate it. Love and light to you all. Merry meet again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.